You're listening to
Black Connections
on 91.8
Hayes FM.
Good afternoon and welcome to this fun-filled, packed version of the Black Connections with me, Simon, and Sylvia. And as you already know, it's Anarchy and Mayhem from me and Sense and Sensibility from Sylvia. Though I think we're not going to get any anarchy today. I think it's all going to be Sense and Sensibility because we have some guests in the house.
We hope so.
Yes.
Welcome to Black Connections, another weekend of madness. But we have a really, really smashing show for you today. We've been screaming it wide and telling everyone that we've got a couple of members of a special band in today who are celebrating 50 years in the business. Osibisa are with us today.
See, now,
how good is that?
I think we need to ask them what is the proper way to pronounce it, because I always say Osibisa. You say Osibisa.
Right.
So we need to know which it is. I think I'm right, and I normally am right. But let's ask.
In your dreams.
Yes.
We'll see what happens when the gentlemen join us.
We'll go with you first then, Osibisa.
Yeah, you're hedging your bets, mate. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us. If you've joined us for the first time here at Hayes FM, if you have any concerns about hearing us, you can actually go online. Go online because we're streaming Facebook Live. And if you want to, I know this all sounds a bit complicated, you can go online, put your radio on or listen from your device and have the two playing at the same time.
Yes.
So that way you won't miss anything because, because actually if we're playing a lot of our guests' music today, Facebook can't mess us around, can they?
Well, no, because the owners of the copyrights are
right here. Wonderful,
yes,
wonderful.
Yeah. And just in case you're wondering, I'm the handsome chap in the red. So
no comment. No comment. So do join us on Facebook Live. Do share. Create a watch party, which I've only just started to learn about. I'm talking as though I know. But do join us on Facebook Live. Create a watch party so that more folk can see what's going on.
Yes. We actually, before we get carried away, we should thank Jerome Marcus for diligently getting all this together.
Course.
And Andrew, and Ray, who's manning the
and the other Andrew.
And the other Andrew, yes. So, little Andrew.
Indeed.
Yes.
So as you can hear, Simon had very little to do with anything today. He's just swanned in as usual as a superstar.
I brought my fine self to the proceedings. What more does Hayes FM want?
Oh my goodness. Anyway, if you do want to get in touch, do contact either Simon or I by WhatsApp if you have our details. Bobby Haynes is in the house. He's watching at the moment, so that's fantastic.
Yeah. Hi, Robbie. How you doing?
Yeah. I've said Bobby. It's Robbie.
It's Robbie, yes.
Yeah, I
it's
can
Robbie.
barely see. Yeah, Robbie, sorry. I'm getting a bit senile. So do check us out on all those platforms and, join in the party. Join in the party.
Yes.
What are we going to kick off with, man?
Well, yes, I think we should kick off with one of the, in my book, one of the most popular Osibisa tracks.
Yes.
And I remember this as a child, and I'm going to put my father on blast here because this track was on Top of the Pops back in, I think it was 1975, though I will stand corrected. Wow. At that point, the whole band were in traditional African wear, and it was at that point my father decided to be very, very African, and before watching Osibisa on Top of the Pops, he had to go and get his dashiki on.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yes, that was his thing. He had his dashiki on. Top of the Pops was on, and as soon as they played Osibisa, he was up, giving it some moves.
Armed and ready.
Yes, it was armed and ready.
All the tracks you'll hear today, or most of them, have come from the new album, and we're also going to be treated to a couple of live performances. So please do keep it locked.
Yes, which we are going to stream live if everything works.
Well, yes, indeed. Play the track, man.
Okay, yeah, I'll shut up and play the track. So enjoy.
All types of music for all types of people.
The sound of Great West London.
91.8 Hayes FM.
You're listening to
Black Connections
on 91.8
Hayes FM.
But the brand new album does have some remixes on it, which they kind of sounded kind of groovy.
Yes,
So,
yes, I quite like, and I also like the title of it because it's the Boyhood Sessions, and I'm kind of going with that because when I first started listening to Osibisa, I was a young boy. So
That's what you say.
yeah,
He
I was young.
He was. If you've just joined us, you're listening to 91.8 Hayes FM, your local radio station. This is Black Connections. Simon and Sylvia, we're here each Sunday, keeping you company. And our focus for today, our entire focus for today, is all about Osibisa, who have been in the business for 50
years.
Probably even more. But
Yes.
we've got a real treat for you later on. We'll be interviewing two of the members of that band, Greg and Del. And I'm looking forward to having a good chat with them, a good old chinwag.
Chinwag, yep.
Find out all there is to find out about them. And, you know, also, I suppose, I mean, they'd be considered wise men, wouldn't they now? After you've done 50 years in the business, you're considered a wise musician, aren't you?
Wise owls.
Well, indeed.
Yeah,
So
people that know the business
inside out.
Yeah.
So those of you who are budding musicians or are very interested in music and the profession, please listen. You may get some golden nuggets from these two guys.
And learn a thing or two.
Indeed.
So it's a service we provide. I mean, we should be knighted for the sort of people we bring to the airwaves. But seriously, you know, all those listening, you know, if Sylvia doesn't want to be nominated for a knighthood,
Yeah,
but
no,
I
you do though. Yeah,
I do.
Yeah. Whatever.
For services to radio, you know. I mean, you know, listen, they better knight me before they knight Simon Cowell. That's all I'm saying.
Well, Simon doesn't matter, does it?
Well, no, they can't say Simon and generally give it to him. You know, they need to put Simon Akinwumni Esquire.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
If you have any views on this, please do send us a tweet at Black Connects. Let us know what your thoughts are on Simon getting a knighthood. But aside from that, we are here to celebrate the work of Osibisa. And I think when we speak with them, we'll find out more about where their name came from. We'll also find out about members of the band and so on. And I'm quite keen to establish, you know, where they're going now. You know, they've done, they continue to work. Where are they heading now? Where can they see themselves heading? So all that to look forward to as we move on. Let's have another one of their tracks.
Okay, so which one do you want then? Shall I just randomly choose one? Because there's so many good ones here.
Hold on, play that one.
Hold on. Okay, we'll play Hold On. Now, most of the music we're playing from here are remixes. So these are, I would say, I wouldn't say old. They're just new versions of old songs.
Repeppered.
Okay. So this one, I don't know why Sylvia likes this one. Is there any reason why you like this one?
Hold On, of course.
Yes or no, but is there any reason why you like it?
When you play it, you'll know.
Okay, then. All right, I'll play it before I get told off. Okay. This is Hold On. Enjoy.
You're listening to
Black Connections
On 91.8.
Hayes FM.
If you just joined us, you're listening to 91.8 Hayes FM, as you've just heard, and this is Black Connections. His name is Simon, my name is Sylvia, and we are here each and every Sunday keeping you company. Let us know what you're up to. I just want to give a big shout out to Novia, who's listening. Hi, Novia, and also to Renrick, who is also listening all the way from Toronto, Canada.
Oh, wow. So we've gone global.
Well, he's one of my cousins, actually.
Oh, right. Okay.
So, yeah.
All
So,
right.
big up to you, Renrick. Big up to you, Novia. If you do want to shout out, you know, get in touch. Let us know
You're
that
listening.
you're there. Yeah. let us know
Did
you're there.
did we say hi to Robbie? We did say hi to Robbie.
We did say hi to Robbie. We can say it again because he did also make a comment about the first track we played.
Oh, wow. Okay. What
which
did he
was
say?
about sunshine, and he said it's great to have a track about sunshine in this dreary
weather.
So thank you very much
yes.
for that, Robbie. Wonderful. I was going to say something, and I've totally forgotten. You've made me forget what I was going to say this time.
Okay. Were you about to do the history of
I was
Osibisa?
going to do a little bit of the history, but I kind of, in a way, want to chat with the fellas about that.
Okay.
Because there have been so many changes. I don't think, you know, me sort of consulting Wikipedia is going to really do it. I think it's going to be much better to hear from the horse's mouth, so to speak. And we're hoping to have the guys in the studio to chat after past. And then perhaps in the second hour we will have some live music from them, a couple of their tracks. So do keep it locked and do share. You know, we don't want to bring them on too early and there's nobody there. Oh, I know what I wanted to say.
Yes, go ahead.
If you know, Facebook always messes us around,
Right.
right? So please do get your device, put the audio on, all right, and then you can watch us by Facebook. So you can hear what's going on via the audio on your device, and then you can watch us on Facebook.
Yes.
Will that work?
I hope it does, yeah, because I'm wearing, I'm as I said earlier, I'm the chap with the handsome chap with the red top on, and you know, I'm just not. I'm a bit aggrieved that these cameras are kind of cutting my glory.
Yes,
you know,
it's not.
I'm having to sit down and not show all my 6'5" splendor.
Yes, I was going to use that word splendor. Funny enough.
Yes, well, I've used it before you. So
there you go.
Can't use it.
So they're not capturing you in all your splendor.
Yeah, so they're not capturing me in all my splendor.
Good gracious.
But,
So, as I say, if you've just joined us for the first time, thank you so much. The other thing I think I also need to mention, go onto our website, all the W's, hazefm.org.uk, because we do have a device there where you can listen to us live. And if you also want to contact us, you can get into the chat room. I do hope at some point soon people start using that chat room.
Yes, I was going to hold up the album because I think it's quite a funky album cover.
Indeed. You'll have to do a hold up, but you'll also have to do a verbal description so that those who are not watching can at least hear what the album's like. Go on.
Well, do you know what? That's quite long, okay? Let me just put it up to the camera, okay? All right, and then we can kind of take a picture of it and post it on our Facebook page. But I think it's quite a great cover. I think it's the sort of cover you would expect from a group of, who's been together 50 years. I'm going to quickly hold up to the camera so you can see. So I hope this works, actually. Hold on.
Yeah.
Which camera is it? It's that one, isn't
it?
See?
Yeah. Yeah, it's lovely, 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 lovely. You'll have to go onto Facebook now to check it out. It's called the Boyhood Sessions, and you have a chance of winning a copy later on, or possibly even two. We may stretch and beg for another one. So do keep it locked because we will have a little bit of a competition, which I think we're going to leave in the hands of Osibisa, Greg and Del. Let them decide on the question. It may be something about the band, especially if you're a fan. You may know the answer.
Well, do you know, because I'm a super fan on account of my father, if I get the question right, do I get it then?
No.
No?
No.
Why not?
No, because we'll be told that we're, we'll be told it's all a bit dodgy.
Yeah, no, but I'm a super fan.
Well,
I mean,
buy one then. Buy a copy then.
All right, okay then.
Let's have another track.
Yes, let's have another track. Okay, so what track do you want now? Because I'm thinking
I'll
of.
let you choose.
Well, I'm thinking of Superfly Man.
No.
Oh, we can't play that one.
No, because they're going to do that live. You see, this is what happens when you don't pay attention.
No,
so choose another one. Choose another one.
I was playing attention. I just wanted to,
You were testing us, were you?
Yes, I was testing.
Choose another one.
See whether we were wide awake.
Yeah,
okay.
go on.
All right, then I'll play this one then, and I'll tell you what it is later.
91.8 Hayes FM. Helping you through your Sunday with the finest chat and the best in music.
91.8 Hayes FM.
Yes, hopefully you're still tuned to the Black Connections with me, Simon, and Sylvia. And as I always say, it's anarchy and mayhem from me and sense and sensibility from Sylvia. But as we have guests in the studio, I think it's all going to be sense and sensibility.
Yeah, we hope so, eh?
Yeah, we hope so.
So, again, let's just tell you that we are streaming this live on Facebook. There's all kinds of gymnastics going on in the studio at the moment.
Yeah, in the background.
In the background. But do go on to our Facebook page, either Black Connections or Hayes FM, and you'll be able to pick it up live there. And if you've missed it, you will be able to pick it up later because obviously once it's on Facebook, it's there forever. Isn't it?
Yes, it is. It is.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Okay.
So, as we've been saying, and we've been playing their music throughout the show so far, Osibisa are in the house. We've got Greg and we've got Del, who have joined us. They're spending some time with us this afternoon on this awful, blustery day. But it's lovely to have them here. Also, a treat to look forward to later on. They will be doing a little live thing for us where they'll be playing and singing. So looking forward to that. But they're here. Should we bring them in?
Yes, I think we should. I mean, let's not waste time.
Hello, gentlemen.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Yeah, I hope you're no longer playing with your devices.
Akwaba.
All right, well, you'll have to translate, darling.
It says welcome, just welcome.
Oh, was that Ghanaian?
Yes.
Thank you. You didn't know that, did you, Simon?
Actually, I did. I did. You forget that I am a chief by proxy from Ghana.
Oh, wow.
Yes, chief.
All right. Less about you. So good afternoon, gentlemen. Welcome to the Madhouse. It's absolutely lovely to have you guys here. Thank you so much for coming in and spending some time with us. You are two members of Osibisa. Tell us, first of all, let's just get this one out of the way. How do you pronounce the band's name?
Osibisa.
Thank you.
So it is not Osibisa.
Well, that's all right as well. It's rhythmical.
Right, and I can say 1975, Top of the Pops.
Stop banging the table, man.
Was it Tony Blackburn or whatever his name was there?
Goodness.
He introduced you as Osibisa.
Oh, right.
Oh, did he?
Yes.
Oh, well, that's good.
Oh, yes, I have the proof in the archives.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Greg, do you have any comment on that?
I think it depends on what part of the diaspora you're from.
Yes. He's Nigerian. You see? You see, exactly. So anyway, it's lovely to have you both here. And we're really here because you're celebrating 50 years. Is it as a band or in the business? Let me just clarify that. Is it as a band or in the business?
It's as a band and in the business.
Both.
Both.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely both.
All of the above.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's start with let's go back a bit, okay? Because it's great to go back and then we'll come forward. I don't want this to sound rude, but who was in the band first?
Dale. Dale. I was only 12 when I joined the band, so.
Whatever. Come on, Dale. Come on, give us some history, man.
Yeah.
The persons in the band first was Teddy Osei, Sola Mafio, and Mac Tonto.
Yes.
On the first day, I met Mac Tonto, Teddy Osei, and Sola Mafio. Mac had brought himself one of those enormous chairs on his settee on his shoulder to the rehearsals. I don't know how he managed that. I never forgot it. I always see that when I think about it. And then Spartacus came later. Spartacus, of course, is like the first Rastaman. As you know, he had his hair done. I've never seen that before. He's from Grenada originally.
Okay.
And he played bass, and he came with his big fur coat, and I was wondering, man, he looked like a fur bear.
Okay.
And then after the first day rehearsals, we decided, well, we're going to do this thing together. It was very interesting because of the rhythms as well. At the time, we were playing a lot of, I was playing a lot of Sly and the Family Stone music.
Okay.
And a little bit of the early kind of blues, Born Under a Bad Sign and stuff like that, as you well know. And it was nice to be playing African music with the rhythms at the time. So I called up a friend of mine who would do sessions on Regent Street and asked him to come over, and he did. And he found it interesting, and he became also a permanent member, original member of Osibisa, Robert Bailey.
Okay.
And from there we went. When we went to the studio from rehearsing from that point, I think we went to, I think it was Willesden.
Oh, okay.
Morgan
Right.
Studios. And we had this, Teddy and Matt called this sax player, conga player, to do the session. The guy came, he did the session, but he never left the group.
Oh, right.
That was Lasisi Laftia Mao.
Oh, wow.
He was the Nigerian in the band.
Oh, well,
They never leave. They never leave.
He did percussion with his mouth and his eyes. He was a brilliant man, talented man.
Okay.
Very nice man. I really liked him a lot.
You're talking in the past. Is he no longer with us? Or?
He's no longer with us.
Oh, wow. Wow.
He passed in California. He had a band in L.A. I met him in L.A. years ago before I joined Osibisa.
Oh, right.
He had a band called Zebra in Los Angeles. And unfortunately, he's no longer with us.
Okay. So, all right. So let's segue slightly now to you, Greg. How did you get involved?
My story is similar to Lofty's. I was spotted playing with the English blues guitarist named Peter Green, and I was brought to do a session with Osibisa as a bass player.
And you never left.
And I so, at that time, I think Wendell had, left to do some solo work because he was quite highly in demand as a guitarist. And I mean, Wendell's played with some of my heroes like Free, rock, British rock bands. And I mean, he's, quite a historical musical figure, to be honest. And so I started off as the bass player, and one day we were touring in Germany, and Teddy Osei turned around to me and said, "Oh, by the way, you'll be singing these songs
That song.
on the way to the gig."
If you didn't know.
Okay. So he's given me about 5 or 6 songs to sing, and and playing bass, playing African bass, and singing African songs is quite a feat, actually. It's like rubbing your stomach and juggling at the same time.
Wow.
So, but I managed to pull it off. I mean, it made me a bit crazy, personality-wise. I wasn't very nice to live with at that time, So, but then eventually I said, "Look, man, get a bass player. I don't mind fronting the band and singing with you guys, but
not
just
both.
not both, because it's, I have a life as well, So eventually I started playing guitar. And learning from the great man himself. And Wendell came back into the band in the, Wendell, late 90s, early mid?
Well, I left twice. So
but while I was there.
You have to say when.
Yeah. I mean, because I joined the band in 1982.
Oh, wow.
Right.
So I was off and on in the band up until about 5 years ago. And in between, I was doing, sessions as a bass player, singer, and I did West End theater. The good thing about Osibisa is that it's like family. So, like Wendell, myself, different members that are core members of the band could leave and always come back, have a home to come back to.
Let me pause you for a minute there, because I'm trying to understand, to some extent, how it is and why it is this entity came together. Did someone have a vision? I mean, what was the idea behind Osibisa? Because there are other bands who form collectives like this, where people move in, they move out, whatever.
Kind of move in and out.
Like Sun Ra. Sun Ra is a very good example.
Yeah, I don't entirely understand how it came about. What was the idea behind it? Was it just you guys came together and jammed, or did someone have a real vision about where this thing was going?
Well, to be honest, really, sometimes you play the same music all the time. You get it, you got it. It's in your head, but you still have to play something else. I mean, if I left Osibisa to do something else, play somewhere else, do different things. Everyone, I suppose, have different things. When I joined Osibisa and played with Osibisa, I loved that music very much. And most important was I got on very well with the individuals in the band, and it was great.
Yeah.
My reason, I think, for leaving the band at that time was I had a habit. If I get bored, I kind of split. If it's a nicer way of saying that, I would. But I was very eager to learn more.
So you wanted to expand your repertoire and stuff. Is that
and the wonderful thing was things was looking up, but at the same time, Osibisa had this situation where they had an office and they're running their business, and Brian was also recording the band, and things was going very well at that time as well. But I had internal problems with my life, my family, and stuff like that, so I had to attend to that. However, with all of that, I went off and did a gig with a band called The Free, because I had a note to come to rehearsals with them on a Thursday afternoon, and I went to the rehearsals, did a jam, and suddenly they turn around and tell me, well, we would like you to come and tour America with us. And I was saying, you're joking? And it says, yes, if you give your passport to us, we will make sure that you'll be on the flight.
Oh, wow.
By the Friday we're leaving or something. Saturday we're playing New Orleans or something that was like that.
Oh,
It
wow.
was crazy.
I wish someone would come and say that to me.
Yeah, but you see, if they say that to you, the problem was, right, you have to learn all their songs.
Oh, wow.
I couldn't do that because I didn't have like that kind of cell
Yeah,
phone
the technology.
business at that
Yes,
time.
yes,
So
yes.
you had this little turntable in my room to play the song and learn the song. It was a nightmare.
Yeah, can you imagine?
You know?
But in answer to your question, I think the band developed, it evolved into the
Okay.
type of loose collective where people like, when Del could come in and out, because, like Del said, he was a very gifted musician, even before he left, joined Osibisa.
Yep.
Del and two of my mentors, Fuzzy Samuels and Conrad Isidore, and Del, they had a band called the Sunday Times, and they had a big hit in Israel at the time, and they were also Eddie Grant's main rhythm section.
Okay.
So a lot of music that you heard that came out of Eddie Grant's studio, these guys were playing on it. He was a serious session musician, and it's funny because even me growing up in L.A., my early mentors were from London, like Del's mates, Fuzzy Samuels and Conrad Isidore. Those guys taught me and they prepared me for when I came to join. I didn't know I was going to be in Osibisa at the time, but these guys prepared me. So when it came time to join Osibisa, again, like Del said, I never had a rehearsal with Osibisa. I just had to learn the songs. That's how we did it in those days. We didn't have rehearsals. We might top and tail the beginning and endings of songs. But, like Del being thrown in the deep end with Free, that's how we worked. That's how we operated back in those days.
Wow. And we're talking about the 80s.
70s.
Oh, 70s. Oh, wow.
70s,
Okay.
yeah.
So
And the 80s as well.
I just want to ask a
Late
question
70s,
because and I said before, my first experience of Osibisa was through my father in the 70s, and I think seeing the band on Top of the Pops, which was unreal at the time, and I can't remember what the hit was, but there was two particular tracks that got a lot of traction within the Top of the Pops sort of area. I just want to ask, what made Osibisa different? Because to me growing up, there weren't this sort of, and I use, the African bands, that were on rotation. So what made you guys so different that everybody kind of came to?
We had the main function of Osibisa was with crisscross rhythms. The very first and most important thing about Osibisa was the crisscross rhythm. Those African rhythms really, really blew people's mind. But on top of that, me being a rock guitar player, I add the rock aspect of guitar into it, so they related to that. It sounds like something we heard before, but it wasn't.
But it's wasn't, yeah.
And so on. And also you got to remember, Teddy played flute, sax, front and from, and Saul is a great drummer, because what Saul could do, he could cross a rhythm anytime. And a wonderful thing is we've always had very good musicians. And even to the point when you saw us on Top of the Pops, at that point it would have been Kiki Guyan playing keyboards with Kofi Iber and percussion.
Right, yes.
You see? So at that time we were really gelling together. They really played very well together.
Right.
And that happened all by accident because I just went to meet Kiki and Coffee because I didn't see them before.
Right.
And after meeting them, Kiki said to me, I joined this group because of you, and I thought you'd be in the group, but you're not in the group. What's happening? And we had a good time, go out, eat, and all the rest of it, hang out together, and says, please come to the studio. We're in the studio tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. I said, okay, I'll come. And whilst in the studio, that's what happened. When you get into the studio with your friends,
magic happens.
Don't go do anything without a contract.
Yeah.
Well, I think, and actually, while they were in the studio jamming, Sunshine Day came.
Wow.
Right.
You know, and it was a B-side at first, wasn't it?
Well, no, that was the B-side was on Sunday Times. Abba Abba, Father Father meant Abba Abba means Father.
Yeah,
and that was a hit in Israel. No, but what happened with the Sunshine Day was I was sitting upstairs in the control room, and there was Jerry Braun and Ashley, the engineer, working on the song while the band was downstairs doing it. And Jerry was saying to me, what the problem seems to be is that why they were not getting it right was everyone had a different diction.
Right.
I never thought of that before, you know. So he tried to con me and says, Del, you should just go down there and sing that song. How can I go down there and sing? I said, I'm not in the band anymore.
Right.
And eventually he got me to go down there and sing the song because he asked them if they'd like me to come and sing the song. That way we could get over that problem of the diction problem.
Diction, right.
And I think I did it in the second take.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because,
All right, well,
I think Sunshine Day and what was the other one? I can
Dance
remember
About
the
the Music, was it?
Oh, God,
Or
I'll
Coffee
sing it
Song.
to you
Or
very
Coffee
badly. But, catch me if you can. I'm going higher, higher. What about you? Do you remember that one?
No, I don't remember that.
Top of the posse.
Well, no doubt it's probably to do with the singing as well. Gracious. Listen, let's have another track, and then when we come back, I'm quite interested. I don't even know what time's happening now.
Yeah, we're coming up.
Well, at some point, I do want us to have a quick chat about Teddy, and to hear a bit more about him as the leader of the band and so on. So, why don't you choose the next track, guys? Which one would you like to hear from your album?
From my album. The track I would like to hear is Flying Bird, but I don't know if you have that.
No, it's not on this one. It's not on
From your new
Let me see. Maybe.
I don't think it's on there. Definitely not. Could not be on there.
Have you played Sunshine Day?
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh, you played
but we
Sunshine.
played the first version,
Okay.
the first track. But I know there's a dance kind of version at the bottom.
Yeah.
Do you want to play that one again?
No, not yet. I mean,
Okay.
maybe. Well, yeah.
Yeah, we
We
played
played
that.
that.
Oh, you
one.
played that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Clearly, Greg, you were not listening.
Yeah. Sorry, I was. Iko BIA. Have you played that one?
No.
Yeah, play Iko BIA.
Which one's that one?
And then we'll talk about Teddy, because Iko BIA is a Teddy song.
Well done.
Yeah.
Good link.
Yeah.
Where is it?
Number what?
Okay, yes, number 11.
Okay. So keep it locked. This is 91.8 Hayes FM, your local radio station. We are in conversation with Del and Greg, who are members of Osibisa, and we're hearing lots of interesting tales about life as a musician. Very, very intriguing. Anyway, we're going to play the next track now.
Okay, all right, enjoy.
You're listening to
Black Connections
On 91.8.
Hayes FM.
All types of music for all types of people.
The sound of Great West London.
91.8 Hayes FM.
Well, I hope you are still tuned to the Black Connections. We always like to call this part 2, part 2, as we like to say. Yes, we are still here. We still have the members of Osibisa, and I got that right this time. Osibisa in the house.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad. If you're just joining us for the first time, thank you so much for your listening ears on this Sunday afternoon. As glum as it might be out there, we're having a good time
we're having
here
a great time.
in the studio. We have Greg and Del in the house. They are members of Osibisa. They're celebrating 50 years in the business as part of Osibisa, as well as their own special careers. We're gonna continue chatting with them, and do keep it locked because we have a real treat for you later on where they're going to do some live performing. We've got it all sorted out. The studio's ready. Everything's in place.
Yes.
So hopefully it'll all kick off.
Yes, we should say a big thank you to Andrew Stevens, who's got us streaming live, and also to Ray and Little Simon.
Yes.
Little Andrew.
Little Andrew.
Little Andrew.
And of course to Jerome Marcus, who is primarily responsible for getting the guys here. So it's lovely to have them here. Listen, we're going to go into our first track of the second hour because it's a special request from Mr. Larry Vidal. Those of you who may or may not know, Larry is a great DJ. He used to be our producer at one stage. He's taught us everything we know.
And he's left it all to me now.
Yeah, whatever. And he is actually here on Fridays doing his thing for the Good Groove Guide. So make sure you check him out on Fridays between 9 and right up until the wee hours. But he wanted a particular track.
Yes,
and I think we're going to be dancing in the studio.
I know. We got the thumbs up from Greg, didn't we?
Yeah, we did indeed. So this one's for you, Larry Vidal. This one is called The Warrior.
You're listening to Black Connections
on 91.8
Hayes FM.
All types of music for all types of people.
The sound of Great West London.
91.8 Hayes FM.
My goodness. Wow. Great track.
Oh, was it? Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Wow. 91.8 Hayes FM, local radio where you live. This is the Black Connections, and you just heard The Warrior from Osibisa. And I think we both started getting texts as soon as that
we
came
did
on,
indeed.
because it seems it is a favourite of everybody.
It is.
Yeah.
Jerome has just told me that 44 years ago that track was made. Unbelievable.
Wow.
And he's also just pulled up a video of when it was performed. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
See that is a track that is forever going to be
bit of a trademark, really.
A trademark.
Yeah.
Well, a good track.
Yes,
you know,
yes,
I think Simon Cowell could learn a bit from that track.
Will you leave Simon Cowell alone?
You know,
for
the
sake?
1 minute wonders he's going on. You know, I'm just going to be quiet.
Yeah, go on then. Thank you so much to Larry for that suggestion, and apparently Haley was just about to suggest the same track. So thank you very much, guys.
Yeah.
If indeed you have any questions you want to. Well, mind you, I'm saying this, they may not want to answer them. But anyway, if you have any questions to ask either Greg or Del, please do. Just send me a text. Just send me a little text, and will be happy to ask them those questions. Also, to let you know that we will be having a little bit of a competition because they've brought in one of their CDs. I think we may be able to squeeze another one out of them. So what I need you guys to do at some point today is to think of a question that you'd like our listeners to answer, and make it easy, please. We don't like difficult around here. So do make it easy, and well, no, perhaps a little difficult, and then you have a chance of winning one of the CDs from Osibisa, their latest album. Okay, so let's move on. A couple more questions. Want to touch on Teddy, who is the band leader, or certainly the person who started the band up. Also want to touch on your tour, because you are doing a tour in celebration of your 50 years, and you've actually started it. So tell us a bit about Teddy, and share any memories that you have of him and working with him, and where all that is now. That's to either of you.
Was he a slave driver? Was he a perfectionist?
Teddy had a very good vibe with everyone in the band, and a lot of times, you know, we had some difficult times, especially traveling. Long before Teddy had the problem of getting ill, you would see sometimes on Top of the Pops he was jumping up and raving all the time, you know.
Yeah.
So he
was very physical.
He was very physical and very lively. And I think sometimes later on, it's when the problem was developing for him. He used to limp with a stick. This was about 1999, and it just got more serious for him. And neither of us had realized that it was so serious that eventually he would be at home in a wheelchair, as he is, you know. But he's still running good. He's still going well. And
Still creating.
He's still creative and, you know, very much alert about everything that's happening. You know.
Okay. Any memories you'd like to share, Greg?
Well, I mean, just from the very first time I saw Osibisa, before I even joined the band, you know, his spirit, you know, was quite potent, you know, and when I joined the band, you know, it was like he was my uncle, you know. So I just felt like I was embraced into a family, you know, and I was given an African name, and I was given all these African costumes, and I just felt that, yeah, these were my uncles, you know. And Teddy, historically, like I say about Del being, in terms of history, Del will always be remained and known as being a outstanding guitarist who's not only sang and played with Osibisa but also played with Free, and was Eddie Grant's right hand man in terms of as a guitarist. And also with Teddy and the African connection, historically, you have bands like the Rolling Stones. There's a very famous picture of the Rolling Stones in Hyde Park, flanked by all these African musicians.
Sure.
And basically, all these musicians that was on that stage went off to play with people like the Rolling Stones, Traffic, and even Osibisa's. There was a couple of Osibisa's percussionists and members that was on that stage. So, like I said, I mean, in Teddy was part of this this scene of African and Caribbean musicians that not only had their own band like Osibisa, but they contributed to American and British rock and pop. You know, I mean, you had people like Remy Kabaka. You had people like Speedy, who was in the Flames. Was it Georgie Fame and the Flames? And
that's correct.
Yeah, and who was it? The Traffic percussionist.
Rebop Kwakuba.
Rebop, yes. I mean, see, all these guys, they came from the Osibisa
stable.
You know, and they went out and played with people like Traffic and, you know, just, you know, loads of different artists, the Rolling Stones. There's a very famous movie called, what was it called? Sympathy for the Devil.
Right.
And it's by a French director. And it's a story of the Rolling Stones in the studio. And they're trying to record Sympathy for the Devil. So, you know, it in the beginning, it sounds like a folk song. Please allow me to introduce myself. And then the African percussion comes in. Cuckoo, ka, cuckoo, cuckoo, ka. And then all of a sudden, it breathes life into a song that just didn't have any life.
Sure,
you know,
sure.
And it turned it from being a kind of a weird kind of folky song into a really happening track. You know, so and that was the gift that these African and Caribbean musicians gave to that music. You know, like the Beatles, like the Rolling Stones. You know, all that contribution is very valid, and historically, hopefully, I mean, I'm writing a book and doing a film about the contributions of African and Caribbean musicians.
You better come back, Greg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, people like Del and all the people that were part of this community in London back in the 60s and 70s. There was a guy named Bobby Tench. There was the, like I already talked about, Conrad Isidore and Fuzzy Samuels. They went on to play with Stephen Stills from Crosby, Stills and Nash. So, I mean, all this historical, it all emanates from these brothers that were in London, you know, and they went out and contributed to, you know, even though we had our own indigenous music that these gentlemen came from, and but they contributed to the music culture and youth culture.
The mainstream, if you like.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's fantastic, and I think that's going to be a really useful contribution to our knowledge, anyway.
Yeah, I mean, if you see, there's a Top of the Pops picture, video of the Rolling Stones doing Brown Sugar, you know, and you'll see Teddy playing the sax on it. Teddy Osei.
Wow.
You know. I remember doing. Mick Jagger did this National Music Day back in the 90s, and I remember they got Osibisa to be one of the headliners for this National Music Day that Mick Jagger was promoting, and you know, you see Teddy and Mick, you know, they're obviously old friends, you know, and we went on as a favor to Mick and did this one of these National Music Day events, and it was quite amazing, you know. Okay. So, but like Teddy was part of that. Teddy's spirit in terms of Osibisa was very, very strong. I know Teddy and Mac, they trained me to be a front man for the band, and you know, they made me a singer. You know, they turned around and, you know, gave me that spot. And so, I mean, what you're getting now with Dell and myself, you're getting, you know, Dell being the authentic one, the founding member, and me being one of the guys that were trained up to be in the band. Okay. You know, so you're getting that authentic sound, you know, that continuum that started in the 1970, 1969, 1970. Okay. That continuum that still is here 50 years later.
Lovely. Thank you so much for that potted history, and no doubt we'll be loving some of the sounds you'll share with us later. Tell us before we go to our next break, and you know, we do need to leave time for our treat this afternoon. But tell us a bit about what's been happening with the tour so far before we take a break.
Well,
you were at Hideaway, for instance, recently.
Okay, that was part of it. Okay. We had some problems, you know, in the fact that we started the new band off at Boisdale, two shows at Boisdale, and went off to Germany. And we did some great music there as well. Then we came back, we did Ronnie Scott's, which was quite a success, 2 shows. And we did, of course, the, it's called The Boundaries, Trading Boundaries, we did that. And after that, we went to do the show in Hideaway.
Has that all happened this year, or is it straddling over from?
Hideaway is the first one that I think
this year.
The first one this year. Yeah.
But it's linked as part of the tour.
Okay,
you could say, getting the band together. That was a short rehearsals for the newcomers, and then we went to that one. For the rest, we hear that there is things about to happen,
right?
And you know, in this business, you hear things and you wait until it happens.
Yeah. In other words, watch this space.
Okay.
You know, I mean, I know there's talk about Germany, there's talk about Japan, there's talk about America, and I personally hope the band gets to South America and the West Indies, because I don't even know if the band's. I've never been there with the band, and I know probably Window. Did you guys tour in the
Yes, we did shows in the Caribbean. There was one show we did in the Caribbean on the island of Antigua, and it was with Stevie Wonder. He was we were given the Marcus Garvey Award, Stevie Wonder, and one was given to us, which was really wonderful. That was a great time. It's nice to perform in a warm climate.
I'm telling you. Where are you from originally, Dan?
Antigua.
Oh, you're from Antigua?
That's
oh,
right.
wow. I was there a few months ago.
Oh, yeah.
And Greg, you're from L.A.?
Well, I was born in Memphis, Tennessee.
Okay.
Yeah, but I grew up in L.A. and Memphis.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
and
you got
London.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you got there are guys from the Caribbean, from the U.S., from the continent.
Spartacus was from Grenada. Robert
Yes,
Perez
you
from
mentioned that
Trinidad.
earlier. Wow.
So, I mean, Osibisa really was probably one of the first bands that incorporated members of the diaspora, from Africa, from Ghana, from Nigeria, from Antigua, from Trinidad, from Grenada. Definitely.
Nice.
Polyrhythms, that's all it is.
Yeah.
And it's funny how the music is so similar, especially from the Caribbean.
Well, yes, that's where our roots, really. Isn't it?
I mean, me as an American, I really had to. Luckily, I was trained up by Dell's compadres before I came here. But I mean, even still, I had to unlearn music and relearn how, because in America we're so used to doing everything on the one and the two, and here it's. I mean, like we'll do a song today that starts on the 4. You know what I mean? So
now you're getting a bit technical.
Now
it's all getting a bit technical.
It's all about the beat. I understand this.
I'll try and bear that in mind. I'll try and bear that in mind. Listen, guys, time is running away from us. We're going to play another track. You guys can go and get ready.
Okay.
So we can have some live music, and that will require you to go next door. And I'll come and chat with you in there. So do keep it locked. This is 91.8 Hayes FM, your local radio station. This is Black Connections, and we're having a fine time talking to members of Osibisa. What are we going to play next, Si?
Oh, good question.
Flying Bird, the song that was just about to come on.
Oh, okay, you want that one.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, you see, I was saying to you, the flying bird.
These fellas are so demanding. Here we go. Here we go. All right, then. So keep it locked.
You're listening to Black Connections
on 91.8
Hayes FM.
All types of music for all types of people.
The sound of Great West London.
91.8 Hayes FM.
In terms of our camera, we will be able to stream that live because they're actually playing their own music and they're playing it live. So do go onto Facebook to check out this live performance. They're going to be performing at least 3 songs, and they will also be announcing a competition question where you have the chance of winning their latest CD.
Yes.
So
I do have to let everyone know that I am a super fan of Osibisa, so I probably would know the answers.
yeah, but he's not going to win, so don't worry.
Okay then.
All right, so let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll go straight over to the guys. If you've just joined us, where have you been? We've been waiting for you. Anyway, you've come just in time because we have the wonderful Osibisa. We have 2 members of the band in the studio at the moment. We've got Greg Kofi Brown and Del Richardson. And before we hear them live, I just think we need to announce the competition because I can see what will happen. We'll get run away, carried away, and then we'll forget. Okay, so the competition question is, for a chance to win an Osibisa CD, the latest CD, the question is, who played lead guitar on Sunshine Day? Who played lead guitar on Sunshine Day? And if you know the answer, just send me a text or a WhatsApp, or indeed go onto our Facebook page, put the answer there. Whoever comes in first is going to win that competition. I'm not going to mess about. No messing about.
No messing about.
No messing about. All right, fellas, are you ready? Are you ready?
Yeah.
You know, like I know, the man is watching you. Tell me why I feel good about things that you do, and why, oh why more, 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 more. High man, superfly man, tell me why you in my way. You know, like I know, the man is watching you. Tell me why I feel good about things you do. Oh, and why, oh why, tell me why I come back for more, 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 more. High man, superfly man, tell me why you in my way. Come on, Dale. Come back for more, 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 more. High man, superfly man, tell me why you're in my way. Tell me why I come back for more, 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 more. High man, oh why? Tell me why I come back for more, 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 more. Why, yeah, yeah. Oh why, yeah, yeah. Tell me why you in my way. Sakabo.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Thank you very much. So that was
Sakabo. Superfly.
Okay, Superfly. Okay, thank you very much. What are you going to play next? Okay, you're listening to 91.8 Hayes FM, your local radio station, and we're having some live music. And as you know, whenever we have anything live, there's always bits and pieces that need sorting out, and so I think we've got it sorted out. What next, gentlemen? What next?
We're going to do a song called Welcome Home.
Welcome Home. Thank you so much. Let's hear.
You've been gone, it's an empty home. Come on back to where you belong. You are always welcome home, welcome home. You've been kept down for much too long. stand up, please, and say I'm free. You are always welcome home, welcome home. Come with me on this happy trip back to the promised land. All will be happy and gay. Come with me on this happy trip back to the promised land. All will be happy and gay. Come with me on this happy trip back to the promised land. And all will be happy and gay. Come with me on this happy trip back to the promised land. All will be happy and gay. Welcome home. You are welcome home. Come on back, come on back, come on back to where you really belong. Welcome home, welcome home, welcome home. Come on back, come on back, welcome home to where you really, really, really belong. Welcome home. Welcome home. Welcome home. Welcome home.
You're listening to Black Connections
On 91.8.
Hayes FM.
Thank you. This next song is called Fire. Because fire go burn you. Do, 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 do. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. When you were a baby, your mama told you not to play with fire. Fire will burn you. And you want to know what could really be this fire. Fire will burn you. fire will burn. Tell your mama, fire will burn. Everybody, fire will burn. Yeah, yeah, fire will burn. Ah! Fire will burn you. I know I never ever play with fire. Hey. Fire will burn you. And I now know better. You don't have to play with fire. Hey, hey. Fire will burn you. And you realize, say fire, 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 fire. Don't you know? Fire will burn you.
Oh yeah.
Fire will burn everybody. Fire will burn in the morning. Fire will burn in the evening. Fire will burn late at night. Fire will burn. It's all right. Fire will burn. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Fire will burn. Ah! Fire will burn you. Thank you. This last song features the master, Dale Richardson. Wango Wango.
Oh yes. All right. There's a land afar where the grass grows wild. When the sun comes up, all the kids get high. With the sun and sea and a clear blue sky, all the kids get happy. They get down and groove, making everybody happy, making everybody happy. It's so easy, so easy. all you got to do is wango, wango. Just to think of home, dance and carnival. People jump with joy, just like a festival. With the sun and sea and a clear blue sky. Everybody get happy. Yeah, they get down and groove, just making everybody happy, making everybody happy. So easy, so easy, and all you got to do is wango, wango.
Good God, help me.
Oh yeah, in this land of far, as a new day dawns, sun goes down and the moon comes up. Oh, all the people sing it, my brother. Say celebrate. Yeah. Sit up, wango, wango, wango. Wango, wango, like wango, wango. Peony Wally, fly, fly. Wango, 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 wango. I said, turn it on, turn it on. Wango, 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 wango. Pass it to the right, pass it to the left, pass it to the right, pass it to the left. Oh yeah, hey, hey, hey. Wango, 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 wango. Wango, 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 wango.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
You're listening to Black Connections
On 91.8.
Hayes FM.
The wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Osibisa. We had Del and Greg, who just gave us a really, really sweet set where they played for us live. If you've missed any of this, please do go onto our Facebook page and you can check out what we've done. I think we're also going to repost it after we've tidied up a bit. So thank you so much, gentlemen. It was absolutely wonderful listening to you guys.
Yes, it was great. I mean, I've never enjoyed live music so much.
For free.
For free.
So thank you so much, guys. And please, 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 the competition again. Who played lead guitar on Sunshine Day? That is the competition question. And if you get it correct, you will win the brand new album by Osibisa. All you need to do is send me or Simon the answer on our WhatsApps, or indeed you can go to our Facebook page and leave the answer there. The first one we see is going to win the competition, okay? We're not messing around. The first one we see will win the competition. Okay, listen, guys, do keep it locked to 91.8 Hayes FM, your local radio station. Bill Leahy is on after us with his classic reggae show, so make sure you keep it locked. Also, if you are interested in what we do here at Hayes FM, do go to our Facebook page, do go to our website. It's all the W's, hazefm.org.uk. There is so much on that site. You can see the schedule, you can see who's who, what's what, and some of the well, I was going to say some of the good-looking presenters, but I'm going to take that one back. I'm the only good-looking presenter here at Hayes FM. Although Simon might want to disagree with me.
Yes, I beg to differ.
Yeah, you're always begging about something, mate. So we're going to leave. We're going to leave you with. Oh, we're not going to do that. Why? Oh, Simon. Oh,
it's
dear me.
collapse.
You
I don't
just
know.
can't get the staff. So what we're going to do then? We were going to leave them with a track. And okay. Oh dear me. So you sure it's not working, Si?
I am positive it's not working.
Oh,
you know,
wow.
It's saying media file has collapsed or unavailable. Don't ask me
Oh
what's going on
no.
there.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you keep talking, and I'm going to sort something out here.
Well, yes, I think you should. Anyway, have you spoken about our man coming in?
You're listening to Black Connections
On 91.8.
Hayes FM.
All types of music for all types of people.
The sound of Great West London.
91.8 Hayes FM.